You ready? You got me running. Shake it, shake that. Raise your hands up. Raise them out.
All right, hi everyone, and good morning. It's just ticked over 11 o'clock GMT +8, and thank you to everyone that is joining the call live from the LCMS Traders Club as well. And I hope for the people that did make the 8 o'clock call last night, I hope you found that very insightful as well. We've got a little bit to talk about today as well, but just before we get into it, a quick introduction as well for the people that are watching this on the YouTube channel. If you want to catch it live at 11 a.m. GMT +8 and get the updates straight away, please subscribe to the LCMS Traders Club. Visit the Jindao Tai website for that. And a quick introduction as well about what the currency call is. We present this call every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. GMT +8, and the currencies we look at are as follows. So we've got Aussie and Kiwi on Monday. Today, Tuesday, we've got the Euro, with the Pound Wednesday, Yen and Gold on Thursday, and then we've got CAD, oil, and we also have cryptocurrency on Friday. And with the currency call, we endeavor to help present trade ideas. We go through breaking news analysis. Today, Gim Hong, currency strategist, will be going through a little bit about what some of the FOMC members mentioned, as well as touching upon Fed Jerome Powell's testimony that is coming up at 11 o'clock tonight, GMT +8 as well. And we'll be going through, obviously, the Euro pairs. We'll be discussing the DXY and a little bit on the stock market as well from me. But just before we do get into Gim Hong's preparation for Jerome Powell's testimony, I'll just share the disclaimer as well. So please just understand any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering into any trades. So just to kick us off, we do have Gimme here just to discuss about the Fed Chair, Jerome Powell speaking later today, and also just going through a few other things from the FOMC as well. So over to you now, Gimme.
All right. Good morning, afternoon, and evening to everyone around the world, I guess. So, FOMC, okay. Chairman Jerome Powell will be testifying before Congress. Well, Senate. Okay, Senate. Later on today at 2300 GMT +8. Okay. As you guys can see over here, it says source release testimony text 17 hours earlier than scheduled. So the the testimony text, okay, basically, which is what Jerome Powell will be reading out from, okay, to start off the testimony, it has already been released, and it's over here. I'll be sharing this link later if you guys are interested. To be honest, I skimmed through the whole text earlier today, and I find that there's nothing worth taking note of, all right, because, okay, this is actually on nomination of Jerome Powell as the central bank's chief for a second term, which is probably another 4 years. Okay, so we'll be seeing Jerome Powell for another 4 years as a central banker. Hopefully nothing goes wrong for Powell, which may actually lead to a re-nomination, okay, a re-election of the central bank's chief. All right. Otherwise, if everything goes on smoothly, we'll be seeing him for another 4 years. Okay. And then, yeah, tonight, I don't know what they're going to be talking about. All right. First of all, Jerome Powell is going to be just reading out from this text that you're seeing, you're looking at right now. Okay. After which, the committee members of the Senate, okay, will actually be questioning Jerome Powell. I mean, with the whole COVID crisis and the whole rising in inflation and things like that, the committee members, okay, may actually be questioning Powell on, now that you are being nominated for a second term, okay, will you? Well, okay, not will you, but how will you actually run the Fed? How will you actually make changes to the monetary policy in order to help tone down inflation in the US and things like that, okay? Especially when the US inflation data, okay, to be released tomorrow, right? Is it tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow at 21:30, okay, is actually expecting a 40-year high level, all right? Not on a monthly basis, on an annual basis, actually, all right? So over here at Forex Factory, they only display the inflation data for on a monthly basis, okay? But if you head over to other economic calendars like investing.com, they do have the annual inflation data, okay? And I think that level, I went through the inflation data yesterday during the currency call. So, sorry, not during currency call, during the Monday night call. Okay, so if you guys missed it or missed part of it, I'll get the videos up later, okay, and then you guys can watch it again, all right? So, especially when this US is actually having this rise of ever rising inflation, okay, the Senate will definitely be probably be questioning Powell on, how are you going to run the show this time around, okay, with this whole inflation going on, okay. Will it be price moving in terms of the US dollar? There may be a little bit movement, although I'm a bit, I would say, skeptical about the movement, okay? Because don't forget, we already know what we want to know, okay? We already know that inflation is not transitory from the Fed's point of view, okay? We already know that they have doubled up the pace for QE tapering. We can already expect QE to end in March, and majority of the members, FOMC members, actually projected 3 interest rate hikes this year, 2022. And okay, based on the recently released meeting minutes, we already know that there was discussions going through during the December's meeting on the unloading of bonds that the Fed is currently holding on, all right, to sell it back to the market. Basically, that's what they're trying to say, okay? Little, I mean, there's not much left for us to need to know about, all right, other than the timeline, the exact timeline of when interest rate hike will take place, okay? And it is unlikely going to be covered during the testimony, all right, because it's too sensitive, and they will want to do it together, right? They want to discuss it together and release it, announce it officially during the monetary policy meeting, okay? So unlikely there's going to be anything new coming out from the testimony, okay? Hence, nonetheless, not hence, okay, nonetheless, if you guys are trading, okay, don't trade the minutes, okay? Don't trade the testimony, okay? If you guys are having any trades running at the moment, okay, like those that I've shared yesterday night during the call, especially dollar CAD or pound Aussie, okay, then you guys may want to, for the dollar pairs, okay, you guys may want to keep it short term and things like that, all right? So Powell will be testifying tonight, okay, but the deputy chair, okay, assistant chair or deputy chair person of Federal Reserve, Leah Brainerd, okay, will also be talking this Thursday. It's not indicated on the Forex Factory calendar, but if you head over to the investing.com calendar, you will see that Brainerd will actually be testifying on Thursday evening GMT +8. Give me a moment, let me check what time is it. I think it's in the evening, probably around like 9 or 10 p.m. or something like that, all right? So she's likely going to be, talking about her nomination as a vice chairman or something like that. So just pay attention to it, okay? And also take note that later on, just before Jerome Powell testify, okay, 2 of the FOMC members, Master and George, will be speaking as well at 10:12 GMT +8 and 10:30 GMT +8 in the evening, okay? Unlikely it's going to be market moving, okay? They are likely going to, if they are the ones who actually, if they are the ones who actually projected that, 2022, there will be 3 interest rate hikes coming in from the Federal Reserve, then they may actually acknowledge themselves, saying that, I was one of them who actually voted for, who actually projected 3 interest rate hikes this year, okay, coming from the FOMC. Otherwise, you know, I don't think they're going to say anything new or that we don't already know. All right. So yeah, you just pay attention to it and it's close to the US market opening time, right? US market opening is at 10:30 p.m. GMT +8 at the moment. Okay. So during that time, you know, there may be some movements because of pre-market movement, because of market opening. You know, it may also be because of this what they are going to say during the speech and testimony. Okay. Other than that, don't expect anything new coming from these 3 members of the FOMC. All right. So if you guys are trading, yeah, just pay attention to the 10 p.m. GMT +8 onwards. All right. And with that, if there's no questions, okay, I will hand it over to Scott for the DXY analysis. Back to you, Scott.
All right, thanks for that, Gimme. So just to get into it, and it was a little uneventful last night as well. Just to start with, I've got the daily chart up here, and you know, we're still struggling really to make a move higher, especially really, you know, mid-range or so is in the 96.50, 96.30 area where we've had some resistance, and then, you know, to push to recent highs. Like I discussed, this has been about 60 trading days worth of candles, and our range has been about 1.4%. So what we are waiting on, like Gim mentioned, is Jerome Powell testimony from, you know, 11 o'clock tonight. It could be interesting once the US session opens as well, just to see where we are headed. What I did notice though, so with this, obviously we've got, it's pretty flat and we are range bound. So it's just interesting to see. And I was watching last night, if we go to the NASDAQ, so this represents a lot of growth heavy companies. And, you know, what we typically will see is that if there is a risk off sentiment in the markets, we'll see this move lower just because a lot of these companies, you know, really aren't making any profit. So the market relies on, you know, borrowed funds to get growth to eventually lead to a company being profitable. But we saw the dip being bought, which is interesting. So we haven't seen a real capitulation, as I would say. And that does hold up a little bit to the, obviously the US dollar remaining stable and even going a little lower. So when we do see some real concerns in the market, we'll see obviously markets like the, you know, the indices like the NASDAQ move a little bit lower. But I do want to bring up another thing here, and this is the volatility index as well. So the volatility index has moved a little higher too, but it's interesting. So this is the daily time frame. It wicked to, you know, beyond 20, we got to 23, 28, and then came back down again. So that means that there was, you know, some US dollar strength earlier on in the session last night, and then it quickly evaporated in regards to that buying momentum. So, you know, just looking at this here now, even on a, if we go and have a look, maybe on a higher time frame to the weekly, and I'll just reformat this. So we are down at the lower levels here of the volatility index for the S&P 500. So the higher the volatility, as you can see, it coincides with when we started as well. So we're not anticipating anything like that, but what we are seeing is that the fact that interest rates are going to go up sooner, so that really will, you know, help the US dollar. But for now, and Gim and I were talking about a few things before the currency call started with, you know, there is some upcoming news, and I'll just quickly touch upon that before we get into the euro analysis. So as you can see, we've talked about what's happening tonight. We do have CPI data out. This is GMT +8 time zone. So expected a month on month is 0.4%. So it is down a little bit from the previous month. And then the core CPI month on month, 0.5 is expected. So waiting on that is probably what I'll be doing for a bit of direction. And then Again, we've got, some other high impact news on Thursday, and then Friday, it's always interesting to see with the retail sales, just the impacts in regards to sales figures, just with what's been happening in the US as well. We had an LCMS Trading Club member share some information. It was last week, just about how many cases were in a day in the US, and it's very key just to see what's going on with consumer sentiment here as well, just with the retail sales. So a little bit going on, but there's nothing dramatically high impact. The CPI is, though, if we do see it beat expectations, and it's simplistic. It's not like Friday where we had a slew of data coming out. So if we do see a beat on this with CPI, that very likely will see the US dollar move higher back through 96. So that's what I'm waiting on. That would be a more simplistic trade idea, just to wait on the CPI data coming out of beating expectations, and then waiting obviously for the reaction too with the US dollar. But those are my thoughts there, guys, on that. And we do have the Euro analysis as well. It is Tuesday, so we've got Kim Hong back here just to share his thoughts on the Euro. So back to you now, Gimme.
Thanks again, Scotty. Okay, so Euro dollar. Okay, what you're looking at right now is the daily chart. Just want to show you guys my support and resistance level. All right. So, I mean, at the moment, okay, euro dollar is still trading within my resistance of 1.14 and my support of 1.12. Okay, basically this range is some 200 pips. Okay. Well, yesterday, okay, I was just talking to Scott earlier today. Like, there was actually a strong sell-off, especially during the evening call. Okay, and we actually suspect that it has something to do with North Korea's firing of missile, okay, that led to some, I would say, risk-off sentiment coming from the market, all right? Hence, we can see that yesterday, there was actually let me just put a line over here to indicate yesterday's daily candle, okay, over here. You can actually see that there was actually initial weakening of the euro dollar, okay, but then towards the end of the session, okay, there was actually a retracement. Okay, you can see that the retracement is pretty much half of well, it's pretty much as long as this what do you call it, the length of the body, okay, of the candle. All right, so I think because of this whole uncertainty and things like that, okay, I'm actually expecting the euro dollar to actually move further down. Okay, but the thing is, pay attention to this level over here, because we have a 1.3. Okay, so at the moment we are not sure if this 1.3 level will be broken. Okay, can be broken downwards. All right, because you see, since since late December, okay, 2021, okay, euro dollar has been trading slightly above, okay, the 1.31 level, and then yes, well, there are several attempts, as you can see here on a daily basis, testing to break below this key level, 1.13, this round level, right? But then to no avail, of course. So buying is not an option for me, all right, right now, because as much as the European Central Bank decides to, end its PPP and things like that, they are still, I would say, one of the most dovish central bank, okay, in terms of monetary policy. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, still we have this uncertainty, and adding on to the uncertainty is the North Korean firing of the missile, all right, and things like that. So I would be more keen to sell. Okay, technically speaking, to buy, at the moment, we will have to wait. We will likely have to wait for euro dollar to break above my resistance zone of 1.14. Okay, otherwise we only have like very small. Okay, let me just go down to H4. All right. Otherwise, we'll have like very small region of tradable zones. Okay, small tradable zones, I would say. Okay, so rather than looking for buying opportunities, I would prefer to wait for euro dollar to break below this 1.13 key level, okay, before looking for selling opportunities at 1.128, which is around here. Okay, 1.128. So if it breaks below 1.13, okay, it hits 1.128, I'll be looking for selling opportunities. okay? And then my stop loss would be at 1.132, okay, which is 40 pips, all right? And then my potential take profit would be at 1.123, just before the 1.12 support level, okay, 1.13 is around here, all right? So my potential profit level would be 50 pips, okay? So it's pretty much a 1:1 risk reward, okay? Nonetheless, you know, if it breaks, if you guys were to short euro dollar, okay, just keep it short term as usual, okay? Because this period of time, there tends to be a lot of movements, okay? Missiles are firing across here and there. There's still uncertainty in COVID, Omicron variants and things like that. And then recently there has been the discovery of a new variant, you know, a combination of Delta and Omicron, Deltacron. Wow, it sounds like some evolution kind of thing going on. I don't know. Okay. So like I told the club members yesterday, you know, as reluctant as I am to tell you guys to keep your trades short term, okay? Keep your trades short term, okay? Which is why on the Mondays and Wednesday sessions, I've decided to start sharing trade ideas on a lower time frame, specifically the H1 time frame, okay? So for Monday's trade ideas, you know, it's probably, you know, it can probably last up till as late as the following Wednesday, okay? And then on Wednesday, it will last as late as up to like the following Monday, okay? Because yeah, it's not viable at the moment to actually hold your trades short, hold your trades long term. Okay, just looking at euro dollars chart, you know, right now, you see like, you know, it's been ranging within these 200 pips. It moves down and moves up and moves up and moves up. There are opportunities up there. It's just that if you guys would enter at a higher time frame, okay, hence longer term kind of trade, you know, you guys will be seeing a profit of 40 pips right now, you know, a loss of 40 pips tomorrow, and then a 40 pips of profit tomorrow, you know, day after tomorrow, and so on and so forth. Okay, so rather than suggesting you guys take on longer term trades, you know, why not just look at all the charts, spot opportunities for you guys, keep your trade short term, all right? Like I've told the club members yesterday, you know, if you guys can, you know, try to try to supervise your trade on an hourly basis, once an hour or at the minimum, okay, once every 2 hours, okay? Because, you know, you guys will just want to take your profits, you know, after a couple of hours of entering your trades, you know, we had like 20 or 30 pips and things like that, and then run, right? I mean, just like the two signals sent out yesterday on pound dollar and euro dollar, that was actually a sell signal on euro dollar, and it was actually closed at 40 pips. After which it actually bounced back. Well, not that the signal teams can actually foresee what's going to happen after 40 pips, but the whole idea here is to keep your trades short term. Okay, if the momentum is strong at TP 120 pips, you know, we may suggest holding on to it, right? But then when it hits 40 pips, are we still confident that it's going to run for 60? Okay, run for another 20 to hit TP 360 pips, right? That's the thing we have to evaluate. And which is why, you know, right now I'm actually suggesting you guys to keep your trade short term. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll be sharing trade ideas on H1 time frame. Okay, so with that, I will move over to Euro Pound. How can we not take a look at Euro Pound, right? I mean, like last Tuesday when I was sharing on Euro Pound, I suggested selling, and then on Wednesday when I was sharing on pound dollar, okay, it was actually it was actually in the money. All right. So at the moment, okay, so last week it was around, I think, wait, when was, let me just check when is last Tuesday. Okay, it was the 4th of January. It was around here. Now, so last Tuesday, I actually shared that, you know, Euro Pound looking for selling opportunities, okay, if and only if it breaks the support zone of 0.84. And in the end, it did break 0.84, okay? And then, yeah, from then on, it just stayed below the support of 0.84. Well, right now, it's the resistance, okay, 0.84. And like I've mentioned, the potential profit is somewhere before 0.808, okay, the support level of 0.808, probably like 0.812, okay, that may be the potential take profit level. And I actually mentioned that, you know, you guys can make some profit. You might want to consider closing it, all right, although there's not that I know of any major news pertaining to Euro or UK. Okay, at the moment, okay, no Brexit, no central bank announcements and things like that at the moment. Euro pound, because Euro pound doesn't move that much, okay, for some reason, which is why I suggest you guys to close your trade off if you guys have some profit, okay. At the moment, right now, okay, I'm still looking for selling opportunities. Heading over to the H4 time frame, okay. My suggestion, okay, again is at 0.833, okay, entry level is 0.833, which is around here, okay. So you guys can see that on the H4 time frame since 5th of January last week, okay, it has been, well, in consolidation, okay, it has been ranging across within this within 0.837 and 0.8, I would say 833, okay. So unless it actually breaks below 0.833, well, my entry is at 0.833, okay, unless it breaks below 0.833, otherwise there would probably be no trade idea for Euro pound, okay. Now, in a scenario whereby it breaks below 0.833, I'll be looking for a sell, okay, and then my stop loss would be, okay, this is going to be a bit of a safer side of things, kind of a stop loss, all right, 0.843, which is around here, okay, which is above my resistance of 0.84. Okay, this is some 100 pips, okay, quite wide, I would say. And then because it's on H4 time frame, right? And then for my potential take profit, it will be at 0.812 around here, which is 210 pips of take profit. Look, I'm in a way contradicting myself, okay, by actually giving this longer time frame, I would say longer time frame, higher time frame trade idea, okay, because it's H4, okay. Now, if you guys want to trade Euro pound at a shorter time frame, all right, entry level would still be at 833, 0.833, all right, but my suggestion for stop loss will probably be around here, 0.875. Okay, let me just change it to something like, I don't know, purple, okay. And then my take profit level, okay, would be at, you guys can actually set as low as 812, no problem, all right. But just keep in mind that from the entry level of 833 to the stop loss level of 8375, it's some 45 pips level up, 45 pips of worth of stop loss, okay. At least, okay, set your take profit at a 45 to 50 pips kind of profit, because factoring in commission and spread and things like that, okay. So stop loss of 8375, okay, for a shorter term entry, and a stop loss of 843, okay, for a longer term entry, all right. But yeah, just keep in mind that Euro pound is slow moving. It's, you know, at the moment you have to wait for it to break below this consolidation, okay, before a sell trade can be taken up, all right. So with that, that's my trade idea for the H4 time frame. Any questions from the audience on, well, anything, fundamentals or, you know, the charts? Okay, no questions. Okay, so with that, I will hand it back to Scott.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. I've shared the FOMC Jerome Powell testimony text as well in the trading floor chat too, and I've just shared the trading ideas, both the Euro pound shorter term and also the longer term trade idea, and we'll have to get our resident medical expert Amanda in the trading floor chat about that new variant. I did hear about that, so again, exclusive thoughts only available in the LCMS Traders Club, guys. So make sure you subscribe, and hope to see everyone again tomorrow for the pound analysis. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.